Tennessee is not the first place most people think of when they picture dangerous wildlife. There are no lions prowling the Smoky Mountains, no crocodiles sliding through the Cumberland River. But that sense of safety is exactly what makes this state so deceptive. Beneath the postcard image of rolling hills, hardwood forests, and country roads, Tennessee is home to a surprising number of animals capable of seriously hurting or even killing a person. Some are large and obvious. Others are so small you could walk past a dozen of them on a single afternoon hike and never notice. In this video, we are counting down 11 of the most dangerous animals found in the state of Tennessee, based on real documented cases, real medical records, and real wildlife data. Some of these will not surprise you at all. Others, especially the one waiting at number 1, might completely change the way you think about a walk in the woods. Stick around, because the most dangerous animal on this entire list is almost certainly not the one you were expecting. We are talking about creatures that live in state parks, backyards, woodpiles, and hiking trails that thousands of Tennesseans walk past every single week without a second thought. Before we get into the list, if you are enjoying this kind of content, take a second to subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel keep making videos like this one. And while you are at it, drop a comment and let me know what part of the world you are watching from today. Now, let's get into it. At number 11, we start with the copperhead, one of the most commonly encountered venomous snakes in the entire southeastern United States. Copperheads are found throughout Tennessee, from the eastern mountains to the western lowlands, and they thrive in the exact places people spend their time outdoors, including woodpiles, rocky hillsides, and even suburban gardens. An adult copperhead typically grows between 2 and 3 feet long, with a distinctive hourglass-shaped pattern that provides excellent camouflage against dead leaves. Unlike some snakes, copperheads rarely flee when a person approaches. Instead, they freeze, relying on that camouflage, which is exactly why so many bites happen when someone accidentally steps too close without ever seeing the snake at all. Copperhead venom is rarely fatal to a healthy adult, but it causes intense pain, swelling, and tissue damage. And it accounts for more venomous snake bites in Tennessee than any other species. Wildlife and poison control records across the state consistently list copperhead encounters as the leading cause of snakebite emergency room visits every single year, making this quiet, unassuming snake one of the most frequently dangerous animals a Tennessean is likely to physically encounter. Number 10 takes us deeper into the forest for the timber rattlesnake, a species that carries a very different reputation than the copperhead. While copperheads are common and their bites are rarely deadly, timber rattlesnakes are less frequently encountered, but considerably more dangerous when they do strike. This snake can grow beyond 4 feet in length and delivers a far larger dose of potent venom than its smaller cousin. Timber rattlesnakes are found in the rocky, forested terrain of the Cumberland Plateau and the Appalachian ridges of eastern Tennessee, often basking on sun-exposed rock outcrops during the warmer months. They are generally shy and will typically rattle as a warning before striking, but hikers who fail to notice that warning or who accidentally place a hand or foot near a hidden snake have ended up in serious medical situations requiring antivenom treatment. Because of their declining numbers, timber rattlesnakes are now a protected species in Tennessee, which means encounters are becoming rarer, but the danger they pose when disturbed has not diminished at all. Herpetologists who study the species note that its bite delivers one of the highest venom yields of any North American snake, which is exactly why any confirmed bite is treated as a medical emergency requiring rapid transport and antivenom, regardless of how mild the initial symptoms may seem. For our next entry, we head to the wetlands of West Tennessee, where the cottonmouth, also known as the water moccasin, makes its home. Unlike the copperhead and timber rattlesnake, the cottonmouth's range in Tennessee is limited almost entirely to the swamps, sloughs, and river bottoms near the Mississippi River and around areas like Reelfoot Lake. This heavy-bodied, semi-aquatic snake gets its nickname from the pale white interior of its mouth, which it displays as a warning when threatened. Cottonmouths are excellent swimmers and are often found basking on logs or moving through shallow water, which puts them in direct contact with fishermen, boaters, and anyone wading through the wetlands of the western part of the state. Their venom is hemotoxic, meaning it destroys tissue and interferes with blood clotting, and bites can cause severe, lasting damage if not treated quickly. While cottonmouth bites in Tennessee are far less common than copperhead bites simply because their range is so much smaller, wildlife officials in the Reelfoot Lake region regularly warn visitors to watch their step near the water's edge for exactly this reason. Moving away from snakes for our 9th entry, we turn to an animal most Tennesseans see far more often than they realize: the coyote. Once absent from the state, coyotes have expanded across all 95 Tennessee counties over the past several decades, adapting remarkably well to suburban neighborhoods, farmland, and even city parks. On their own, coyotes are generally cautious around humans and prefer to avoid direct contact. But conflicts do happen, particularly when coyotes become habituated to human food sources, when small pets are left unattended outdoors, or during the spring denning season when adults become more protective of their territory. Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency officials have documented a steady rise in coyote sightings and occasional aggressive encounters in residential areas, especially around Nashville and Knoxville's expanding suburbs. While attacks on adult humans remain extremely rare, coyotes are also a primary carrier of rabies in the region, and any bite carries the risk of viral transmission, which is why wildlife agencies treat every reported coyote encounter with caution. Small dogs and outdoor cats are far more frequently targeted than people, and wildlife officers regularly remind homeowners in growing suburban areas to avoid leaving pet food outside overnight, since an easy meal is often what draws a coyote close to a house in the first place. The animal's growing comfort around human development is exactly what makes ongoing monitoring so important across the state. If you're finding this list surprising so far, that's exactly the point, because the animals coming up from here get significantly more dangerous. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss where this list ends up. At number 8, we have the bobcat, Tennessee's only wild cat species, and an animal that most residents will never see in the wild, since bobcats are elusive, nocturnal, and naturally wary of people. Under normal circumstances, a healthy bobcat poses almost no threat to a human. The real danger comes from rabies. In recent years, Tennessee has recorded multiple confirmed cases of rabid bobcats behaving abnormally, approaching people in broad daylight, wandering into yards, and in a handful of documented incidents, actually attacking. Because a bobcat's claws and teeth can inflict serious lacerations even during a brief encounter, and because rabies is almost universally fatal once symptoms appear in humans, any bobcat that behaves aggressively or unafraid of people is treated by Tennessee wildlife officials as a genuine public health concern. Anyone scratched or bitten by a bobcat is strongly advised to seek immediate medical evaluation, since post-exposure treatment is highly effective if started before symptoms begin. What makes these encounters so unsettling is how quickly a normally invisible animal can turn into a serious threat. Bobcats are built for ambush, with powerful hind legs and sharp retractable claws designed to take down prey many times their own size. and a rabid individual loses the caution that normally keeps that strength safely out of sight. Our seventh spot goes to the black widow spider, a species found throughout Tennessee in woodpiles, sheds, crawl spaces, and cluttered outdoor storage areas. The female black widow, easily identified by her glossy black body and red hourglass marking, possesses venom that is drop for drop, among the most potent produced by any spider in North America. A bite delivers a neurotoxin that can cause severe muscle cramping, abdominal pain, and in rare cases, more serious systemic symptoms. Fortunately, black widows are not aggressive and only bite when directly threatened or accidentally pressed against, which is why most documented bites happen when someone reaches into a dark space, like a woodpile or storage box, without looking first. Tennessee poison control centers report black widow bites every year, particularly during the warmer months when outdoor activity increases. And while modern medical treatment makes fatalities extremely rare today, the intensity of the reaction is enough to send most victims straight to an emergency room. Right alongside the black widow at number 6, we find the brown recluse spider, a species that, unlike the black widow, is genuinely common inside Tennessee homes. Tennessee sits within the brown recluse's core range in the United States, and this spider is frequently found in closets, attics, basements, and stacks of stored cardboard. Brown recluse venom contains an enzyme capable of destroying skin and tissue at the bite site. And while most bites heal without major incident, a small percentage develop into significant slow-healing wounds that require medical treatment. What makes the brown recluse particularly noteworthy for this list is not the severity of any single bite, but how often Tennesseans unknowingly share their living space with one. Pest control professionals across the state routinely find these spiders during home inspections, often in areas that had not been disturbed in months, which means many residents have likely lived alongside a brown recluse without ever realizing it. At number 5, we shift from creatures hiding in the shadows to one that is impossible to miss once it shows up: the feral hog. Wild pigs are not native to Tennessee, but escaped and released domestic hogs have interbred with wild boar populations to create a large, aggressive, and rapidly expanding invasive species found in nearly every county in the state. An adult feral hog can weigh well over 200 pounds, with some documented individuals exceeding 400 pounds, and they possess sharp tusks capable of inflicting deep wounds. While feral hogs generally avoid humans and prefer to flee, that changes dramatically if one is cornered, protecting piglets, or wounded during a hunt. Tennessee wildlife officials and hunters have documented numerous close encounters involving charging hogs, and the animal's combination of raw size, speed, and tusks makes any close-range confrontation genuinely dangerous. Beyond the physical threat, feral hogs also carry diseases such as brucellosis and pseudorabies, which can be transmitted to humans and pets, adding a second layer of risk on top of their aggressive potential. Their population has exploded so quickly across the state that the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency now classifies them as a destructive invasive species with essentially no closed hunting season, in an ongoing effort to slow their spread before their numbers, and the number of close encounters that come with them, grow even further. We're now entering the final stretch of this list, and every entry from here on is backed by real documented incidents right here in Tennessee. At number 4, we have yellow jackets and other stinging wasps, an entry that surprises a lot of people until they hear the numbers behind it. Nationally, insect stings from wasps, hornets, and bees cause more deaths every year in the United States than snakes, spiders, and bears combined, primarily through severe allergic reactions known as anaphylaxis. Tennessee's warm, humid climate supports large populations of yellow jackets throughout the summer and fall. And unlike bees, yellow jackets can sting multiple times and are notoriously aggressive when their underground nests are disturbed, something that happens frequently during yard work, mowing, or hiking. For most people, a sting means brief, sharp pain and swelling. But for individuals with a severe allergy, a single sting can trigger a life-threatening reaction within minutes, and emergency rooms across Tennessee treat these cases regularly, every year. This entry is a reminder that danger in nature is not always about size, claws, or venom potency, but sometimes about how the body itself reacts. At number 3, we arrive at the American black bear, the largest predator that calls Tennessee home and the animal most people picture first on a list like this. Black bears are firmly established throughout the Great Smoky Mountains and the Cherokee National Forest, with a population that has grown substantially over recent decades as bears expand into new territory across the state. Adult males can weigh between 200 and 500 pounds, and despite their somewhat clumsy appearance, black bears can run in short bursts faster than a human and are powerful swimmers and climbers. The overwhelming majority of black bear encounters in Tennessee end without incident, and attacks on humans remain rare. But they are not unheard of. In the summer of the year 2000, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park experienced one of the rare fatal black bear attacks in the park's history, when a hiker was killed in an isolated backcountry encounter, a case that remains one of the most sobering reminders that even a generally non-aggressive species can turn dangerous under the wrong circumstances. Park officials have since strengthened food storage regulations and visitor education specifically because of incidents like this one, working to reduce the kind of habituation that leads bears to lose their natural wariness of people, since a bear that associates humans with an easy meal is far more likely to end up in a dangerous, close-range encounter down the road. Number 2 goes to an animal most people never think about at all, the raccoon, and more specifically, the disease risk it carries. Raccoons are found in massive numbers across every part of Tennessee, from deep forests to downtown neighborhoods, and while a healthy raccoon poses little threat, raccoons are one of the primary carriers of rabies in the eastern United States. Tennessee's Department of Health confirms multiple rabid raccoon cases every single year, and raccoons account for a significant share of the state's total reported rabies cases across all wildlife species combined. A rabid raccoon may lose its natural fear of humans entirely, approaching pets, wandering into yards during daylight, or becoming aggressive without provocation. And any bite or scratch from one requires immediate medical attention, since rabies is virtually always fatal once symptoms begin. Because raccoons live in such close proximity to people, often denning in attics, chimneys, and storm drains throughout suburban Tennessee, the sheer frequency of human contact makes this common backyard visitor a far more consistent public health concern than almost anything else on this list. Wildlife control operators across the state report that raccoon-related calls, whether for suspected rabies, property damage, or unwanted denning, are among the most common they receive year after year. A quiet reminder that the most dangerous animal in a neighborhood is often the one everyone has simply grown used to seeing. And that brings us to number 1, the animal that, according to actual public health data, is responsible for more illness and more long-term harm to Tennesseans than every other creature on this list combined: the Lone Star tick. This small, unassuming parasite is found throughout Tennessee's forests, fields, and even well-maintained backyards, and it has become one of the most significant public health threats in the entire southeastern United States. The Lone Star tick transmits several serious diseases, including ehrlichiosis and a condition known as southern tick-associated rash illness. But its most remarkable and unexpected danger is something researchers only fully identified in the past 2 decades. A bite from a lone star tick can trigger alpha-gal syndrome, a delayed allergic reaction to red meat. Researchers, including specialists connected to the University of Virginia and reinforced by cases documented throughout Tennessee and the broader Southeast, discovered that a compound in the tick's saliva can reprogram a person's immune system to treat mammalian meat as a threat, causing sufferers to develop hives, digestive distress, or severe anaphylactic reactions hours after eating something as ordinary as a hamburger. Unlike a snake bite or a bear encounter, there is no dramatic moment of danger with a lone star tick. Most people never even feel the bite, and that is precisely what makes it the most dangerous animal on this entire list. It does not need to be big, fast, or aggressive to permanently change a person's life. It simply needs to be overlooked, which, across the forests, parks, and backyards of Tennessee, happens every single day. So, there you have it. 11 animals across the state of Tennessee that prove real danger in nature rarely looks the way we expect. The Lone Star tick topping this list is a genuine reflection of how public health researchers now view the threat, precisely because it is so easy to dismiss and so difficult to notice until the damage is already done. Of course, a list like this could easily include other animals too. Alligator snapping turtles in the western waterways, venomous caterpillars like the puss moth larva found in wooded areas statewide, or even aggressive livestock encountered on rural farmland. And if you think we left out something that deserves a spot, drop a comment and let us know what you would have included. We would love to see how your ranking compares to ours. Thank you so much for watching this one all the way through. If you learned something new about the state of Tennessee today, that's exactly what this channel is here for. And we will see you in the next one.